switching to the inside, reigned at 2. Ultimate Image is there as well, and Way In arriving late. Good old battle here. Huna Post just in front, coming after it on the inside. Ultimate Image at the line. Oh gee, there's nothing in that.
Apprentice Rowena Smythe getting a Premier Day double there at Ellerslie on the weekend. Girl of My Dreams, and also Hunapo there in the Vision. Aidan, no mean feat for a claiming apprentice to get a win on Premier Day, let alone 2. Yeah,
exactly. She went well, didn't she? And yeah, and even nicer, she'd got Ocean Bound home as well at a long price.
Yeah, that was the one you were tipping out at 40s.
Speaking through his pocket, isn't he?
Isn't he?
Yeah. Don't bag jockeys here. Don't come here bagging jockeys.
All right, let's go back and have a look at some of the undercard races there on the weekend. Race number 1, the Open Mile. This was taken out by King Cravan and freshened up after failing in the City of Auckland Cup. Twiggy looped them on the corner and, with all due respect, made the opposition look a little second rate.
Yeah, he did, DA. Look, he obviously freshened well. I liked him in the City of Auckland Cup. I had him down as top three chance, and he failed. Obviously freshened very well, and he's just put pay to them. This horse, he's clearly a class above them. As to the second horse, the 2 best horses in the race, 1-2 for mine, and they're going forward the only 2 to take out of the race.
I thought Peking Tycoon, who's run last, was luckless, just never got a chance at all. It was an interesting run race because it seemed to be a slow speed. North of Sunset really injected some tempo into the race, but those horses, King Cravan and the Tide Express, were both last and second last, and they've come from well back to do it. So yeah, King Cravan pretty good and goes to the Albert Gold Cup.
Yep, you're happy with Peking Tycoon?
I thought the run wasn't bad. It never got a clear. I doubt it would have won. It would definitely run in 3 if it got the clear air.
Black Book it.
It's going to Tauranga as well, to
Peking
the
Tycoon and
international
Vavasor, write that down. Aidan's 2 to follow. 2 to follow. Both run last day.
Righto. Race number 2 on the program was the banded 75 1200 metre sprint, and Fascination Street with the blinkers on here. Twiggy capping off a good run of consistency.
Yeah, look, she's been testing, hasn't she? Without the blinkers on, she probably wasn't putting in 100%. They sharpened her up on Saturday, and she's the best horse in the race. The second horse was very good. He got back, sort of wobbled around the bend a little bit, but attacked the line really, really well. But nothing away from the winner. She was good.
In the end, the win was pretty good because it was 3 wide, had cover the whole way. But Michael Coleman ended up being in the right spot. He was able to go forward. And I think if Light Shadow had been in a similar type of spot, Light Shadow's run's massive for second, and he really promising horse.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's just had a few issues. I know Gary Alton with Light Shadow. He's a very highly strung horse, and they're just taking their time with him, teaching him to relax and hit the line. So maybe next start, hopefully they can put him a couple of pairs closer and without firing him up.
Yeah, and Biggin Hill was pretty good as well in third because it was sitting 3 wide the trip, went up with only 500 metres to run and got it, and still fought on pretty well for third.
Yeah, well, I think you can afford to sit 3 wide when they're doing 3/4 pace most of the way, can't you?
Yes, apparently. Race number 7 is the 85 1400. This one was won by Gustavo, who sat near the speed and just kicked 2 best to win. Twiggy?
Yeah, another Murray Baker on speed runner, dominated from the front. Ran beautiful sectionals, it was a great ride, and I thought Miss Foxwood was going to clean her up on the point of the turn. She travelled up very, very nicely, but the leader had a good kick and it was a good win.
Yeah, the winning of the race was Craig Grills from the outside gate, was really positive, got across, took front, and there's no real pressure on in the run. In the end, Miss Foxwood, who's come from off the speed, has probably been the best of the others. It was a really good run. It's a tempo-related race, so wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. To be sure, ran third at 59 kilos, when what will go to the Easter handicap now.
Yeah, I think
get in on the minimum. So.
Yep. Well, Gustavo's run might be good enough for them to go forward. Like so, stable, absolutely firing. Everything they do seems to turn to gold. That they train them hard and they come out and run strong races.
Yeah, they've had dominance, haven't they, over the carnival? In fact, 3 Cambridge trainers getting almost half the races over the carnival there. Murray Baker and Andrew Forsman. Also Tony Pike and Stephen Marsh. I mean, 6 wins for Baker Forsman, 5 for Marsh and 2 for Pike. So what are we looking at? 11, 13 of the 30-odd races. I mean, that is some dominance, isn't it?
Yeah, sure is. Murray Baker's always been one of our absolute great trainers. You know, his record in Australia shows you, and he's not afraid to go and have a crack at those big races. He's a future Hall of Famer for mine, and it won't be too far from getting there. Andrew Forsman, who's joined him, has just added something. He's really complimented him in the back room. He's making sure that everything's right. He's well respected by staff. He's making sure the nitty-gritty's done right, and then Murray Baker's obviously is all his the strategies, and they're all in place, and they're working.
Yeah, I think they're at the point now where they've got 80 horses in work, so they can be consistent all year round. Whereas opposed to your 50, 60 horses, we sort of have a bit of a decline at certain stages of the year. They're
well out in front, aren't they? I think 73 wins now, 15 group enlisted, and I think the Cambridge are actually putting on more barns for them, aren't they? Aren't they going to be getting even bigger again? So,
and at the end of the season, they'll end up with twice as many winners as what they did last season. I mean, phenomenal.
Massive.
Well, that New Zealand record, isn't it? It's well under 3. If they're 73 with 5 months of the season to go, then they can get another 50 wins here, and that'll break the New Zealand record. I think they're well on track.
Absolutely. All right, so dominance there in the training ranks over the carnival. What about the jockeys? Opie Bosson with 6 wins, Danielle Johnson with 5, Mark Duplessis with 3. Opie's 6 wins included a number of stakes wins, so that effort full of merit.
Yeah, it's a great effort, and I bet Aidan's wrapped about it too.
Yeah, pretty wrapped. Although we could have done with that extra Group 1 with Rising Romance.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, yeah. Anyhow, he's got 4 now for the season, Group 1s, 2 over Cup Week, so which is pretty good. And I think he's 13 Group enlisted wins for the season, 2.6 million stakes. So he's having a pretty good season.
Yeah, he's our class act. Class act.
All right. So what have the team learnt this week? Twiggy, we'll start with you.
Oh, look, I learnt, just to reiterate what Butch said last week, with state-of-the-art irrigation systems. I mean, you can see what happens with tracks, and Matter showed it. Ellerslie had 3 days over the carnival, had no issues. And unfortunately, we see Wingatui on Saturday again fail to produce a safe and racing surface. I mean, we're going to talk to Mr Purcell in a minute, but we certainly need to see what's going to be done about it. Yeah,
it's a big concern, and if they get it wrong the first time, they've got to get it right the next time, and unfortunately in this case that hasn't happened, so we've got to get it right going forward.
Okay, and Aidan, what have you learnt?
For me, I thought the trackside did it bloody well over Auckland Cup Week. We were out there on the front, with Brendan and Jane and Tommy and all the guys doing the shows, the weigh-in team there on Wednesday and the first call team there. But in behind the scene, the producers have made the show really tick. There's a lot of cameramen and directors and everyone else behind the scene, commentators and sound guys who do a lot of work, and a lot of that's unheralded, but I thought the coverage was pretty good. It certainly felt good to be part of, and the feedback we're getting is that it's been pretty well received as well.
Yeah, it was good to see the inquiry room, getting inside the inquiry rooms too.
I got a bit of feedback from that as well. They said they couldn't give me a chair or something. The most
kid at school just sitting there under the desk with the microphone on top of your head.
The texts and tweets that I was receiving, they said they could have given you a cushion or something, couldn't they?
All right, you're with Way, and we're back to discuss Wingatui in a moment.
After the break, the team will be joined by New Zealand Thoroughbred Racing CEO Greg Purcell to discuss the abandonment of yet another meeting.